Hey everyone, lead trainer with Stockstotrade Tim Bohen. I'm going to walk you through what's called Screener Plus. Now, in previous videos, you can check those out. We went over the pre-built scans and they're awesome. Love them. We've got 40 of those that really get you up to speed fast. Now, what's cool about Screener Plus is whether you're brand new, intermediate, or advanced, you can start building your own specific scans based on your strategy, or hey, maybe other people's strategy. Maybe you saw something that you like and you're looking to kind of pinpoint those plays. You can literally build out a scan with over 150 different criteria, all with conditional operators. You know, you can basically build logic in essence to identify your specific setup to capitalize on that every single day. So what you're looking at right now is Screener Plus, and just gonna kind of give you a big, 10,000 foot view, and then I'll show you some of the scans that I built that I use every day. But walking through, we've got everything price related. Obviously, we know in day trading, price is the biggest thing, but we can start looking for, bid, ask, spread, specific percentage recline or climbs, pullbacks. Obviously, we're looking at percent gain a lot, but we can look for percent gain over multiple time frames, whether that be based on an individual candle or even hours or even days or after hours or pre-market. Then, day high, previous day high, 10-day, 20, 30, 40-day high. So you could be looking for day trade opportunities or swing trade opportunities. Even range, average daily range. So we look for those previous runners. So you can scan based on the daily range, because a lot of these stocks spike huge, kind of go into consolidation mode and spike again. So you can kind of use that to look for those big runners in previous time to put those on your radar. And then it just goes on and on and on. Liquidity, technical overlays. Okay, we can look for specific, MACD, VWAP, stochastics. I mean, you can really get in detail. And then even drill in on the fundamentals. Like almost all my scans are looking for low float stocks. So you can build a scan based on price, volume, technical indicators, and then maybe focus on low float stocks if you're a day trader, or high float stocks if you're a swing trader. And then it all goes down the line. Looking for halted stocks, stocks under the SSR. It just goes on and on and on. And then you can combine those to build a scan. So I'm just going to walk through one of my favorites. And I'm sure many of you have been on the channel probably are aware of this, but it's called that VWAP hold scan. I think this is the best scan for newer traders looking for those afternoon setups, less volatility in the afternoon, smoother moves. But just as an example, to walk through this one and show you the possibilities. So I'm looking for stocks from 1 to 20, low price stocks, probably not a shock to anybody. They make the biggest moves. Big percent gainers, up more than 10% on a day. I'm not looking for flatline stocks. And then volume criteria as well, because we need volume to push these stocks around. Low volume stocks typically go nowhere. And then this is the reason I show you this scan, is it shows you the power of Screener Plus, because you may notice that these last two criteria, all of the other criteria using conditional operators are and criteria. So all of those need to match. Then you can see I have an or criteria. Now, not to get too much into conditional operators and Boolean logic and all this dork stuff that I know from being a technology guy for basically my whole life, but you have basically or statements as well as linking. So what the linking does is it basically requires both of these criteria to be true. The previous and criteria, all of those have to match, and then the link criteria both have to be true to allow us to hone in on those stocks in this instance that have made big moves, are in our price range, have the volume we look for, and then trading a basically 4% band of VWAP, 2% above, 2% below. So that catches us these stocks that have ran in the morning, consolidated midday, and are hugging VWAP, as we say. And then we've got that band, 2% above and 2% below, to actually trade off of. So this is a great setup and scan for long and short, because as these stocks consolidate through that band, when they break out of the band, that's your long signal, you risk VWAP. So a pullback to VWAP would be your stop. And then the cool thing about this scan, I've been using it for like 15 years, also back when I was a short seller. So you can short those stocks that bust out of the band and you risk a VWAP reclaim. So it's a great example of the power. Now you can see day in and day out, I use about 6 scans every single day. We've got pre-market scans, dip and rip scans, midday scans, the afternoon scan that with the VWAP hold, and then a swing trade scan that we use into the end of the day, as well as an after hours gainer. So all of these I've built simply by using the logic and using the tool. So that being said, if you want the ability, like maybe you're kind of getting to the point where you want to zone in on different strategies or different setups, you can get access to Stockstotrade and literally start building these today. Now, if you heard the conditional operators and and logic and all of these things, or maybe some of these technical indicators that you didn't quite get, understand we have, I want to say hundreds, maybe not hundreds, but 100 videos on the StocksToTrade University site that walk you through all of this, like literally walk you through how to build the scans, how to customize them, how to save them, how to import them, export them, and run them. So when you take advantage of StockstoTrade by hitting that link below, you get full unrestricted access to Screener Plus. Plus, on top of that, you get all the education to walk you through. So if it looks complicated, it's not. Once you get up to speed, it's really pretty simple. I love the visuals. It's not like writing code. Back before Stockstotrade, I built scans using a different piece of software, and it was literally editing code. Like you had to have the semicolon in the right place and all this stuff to make the code run. With Screener Plus, it's all visual. You just drop the code blocks and it writes the code behind the scenes for you. So you don't have to get really in-depth on like coding and writing that stuff, which again, I'm a nerd, I'm a tech guy, and even for me, it gets a little confusing. I love the visual way that Screener Plus works. So it's all built into Stockstotrade. You can get a full 100% unlocked version by hitting that link below. And then once you do that, head over to the university site, bunch of videos from me as well as some of the other trainers walking you through everything.